What if I told you that dinosaurs and humans never once walked the earth together? Not even for a single day. The gap between us is so massive that if you compressed the entire 4.5 billion year history of Earth into just 24 hours, dinosaurs would show up at 10:56 p.m. and vanish by 11:41 p.m. Humans, we wouldn't arrive until 11:59 p.m. in the last 4 seconds of the day. So here's the real question. If we never even met, how did the death of the dinosaurs end up creating us? Today we're solving one of Earth's biggest mysteries, from the birth of the dinosaurs to their terrifying extinction, all the way to the story of how humans came to be. Let's clear something up first. A lot of people get this completely wrong. Dinosaurs first appeared on Earth 230 million years ago, during the Triassic period. Back then, Earth looked nothing like it does now. There was no India, no America, no separate continents at all. Everything was fused into one giant landmass. Scientists call Pangea. Dinosaurs ruled this planet for a staggering 160 million years. That number is worth sitting with. It's such an enormous stretch of time that dinosaur species themselves changed again and again during that period, evolving, branching off, going extinct and being replaced by new ones. Then, 66 million years ago, a disaster wiped them out. We'll get into the full details of that shortly. Now, here's the part that blows most people's minds. From that extinction to the arrival of modern humans, there's a gap of 65 million years. That's so much time that entire ecosystems rose and fell, more than once, before we ever showed up. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, only evolved 300,000 years ago, in Africa. Here's a simple way to picture it. If the entire history of the dinosaurs were a 1,000-page book, humans wouldn't show up until 10 more books worth of time had passed after that book ended. We're not characters in the dinosaur story. We belong to a completely different, much later chapter. That's exactly why every time a movie or cartoon shows humans and dinosaurs fighting side by side, it's 100% scientifically wrong. It simply never happened. Now picture this. If you were somehow standing on Earth back then, what would you actually see? Geography. At the start, the Triassic period, the entire planet was one single landmass. Pangea. You could have walked from North America straight into Africa or Asia without crossing a single ocean. Slowly, by the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, that landmass began breaking apart, like a jigsaw puzzle, pulling itself apart piece by piece. Those drifting pieces became the continents we know today. Climate. For most of the dinosaur era, the climate was far hotter than today. There was no ice at the poles. Even where Antarctica sits now, there were once forests. Only toward the very end of the Cretaceous period did things start cooling down, with small ice caps beginning to form here and there. Vegetation. Early on, the only plants around were ferns, conifers, pine-like trees, and ginkgos. But during the Cretaceous period, something game-changing happened. Flowering plants evolved for the first time. This completely transformed how the world looked. For the first time ever, colorful flowers appeared on Earth, and insects like bees and butterflies evolved right alongside them. Animals. This is the most fascinating part. You'd assume it was all dinosaurs, but it wasn't. Mammals existed too, but they were tiny, about the size of today's mice. They came out at night and stayed hidden because being spotted by a dinosaur usually meant not surviving the encounter. Insects looked much like they do today. Crocodiles and sharks both predate the dinosaurs, and both are still around today. Sky and ocean pterosaurs, flying reptiles, soared through the skies, ranging from the size of a small bird to something as large as a small aircraft. In the oceans, massive marine reptiles like Mosasaurus and plesiosaurs ruled the water. Important clarification. Neither of these is technically a dinosaur. They're separate reptile groups that evolved alongside the dinosaurs. So, if you'd been standing in that world, you wouldn't just see dinosaurs everywhere. You'd see an entire complex ecosystem with dinosaurs at the very top and a whole hidden world quietly surviving underneath them. Now, we get to the most dramatic part of this entire story. What happened 66 million years ago? An asteroid roughly 10 kilometers wide, about the size of a small city, was hurtling toward Earth from space. It was moving so fast, nearly 20 kilometers per second, that friction with the atmosphere heated it to extreme temperatures, making it burn brighter than the sun itself. This asteroid slammed into Earth near Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. Today, that site is known as the Chicxulub crater, roughly 180 kilometers across. The force of the impact was so massive that it triggered an instant explosion, millions of times more powerful than any nuclear weapon in human history. Massive shockwaves, traveling faster than the speed of sound, devastating regions thousands of kilometers away, earthquakes, severe enough to shake the entire planet, tsunamis, waves hundreds of meters high, tore inland across continents, wildfires. The heat from the impact set forests ablaze for miles around, a dust and ash cloud, the deadliest effect of all. So much debris was thrown into the atmosphere that it blocked out sunlight across the entire planet. What followed was the true nightmare, the impact winter. Without sunlight, plants couldn't photosynthesize. Plants died off. The dinosaurs that ate plants started starving. And then the dinosaurs that ate those dinosaurs started starving too. It was a chain reaction that wiped out 75% of all species on Earth. Not just dinosaurs, but countless other creatures on land and in the ocean. Scientists call this the KPG extinction event, Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction. The scientific proof. This isn't just a theory, it's backed by strong scientific evidence. In 1980, scientists discovered something strange. Soil layers from exactly 66 million years ago, found all over the world, contained unusually high levels of a rare metal called iridium. This metal is extremely rare on Earth, but far more common in asteroids. That was the first clue that something had come from outer space. Later, the Chicxulub crater in Yucatan was discovered, and its age lined up exactly with the timing of the dinosaur extinction. That's not a coincidence. Additional proof: thousands of fossils found in different locations around the world, including quarries in the United States, all appear to have died within the same narrow time window. That's direct evidence of a mass extinction event. Did this pave the way for humans? Now, here's the most important connection in this entire story. As long as dinosaurs were alive, mammals never stood a chance at growing bigger. Dinosaurs controlled the resources, hunted them, and forced them to stay hidden at all times. The moment the asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs, suddenly, enormous amounts of resources were freed up. There were no major predators left. Countless ecological niches opened up over the next several million years. Mammals began filling those empty spaces. Creatures that used to look like tiny mice slowly evolved in completely different directions. Some became large herbivores, some became predators, some moved into the oceans, the ancestors of whales, and some took to the trees. And those tree dwellers were the primates that eventually evolved into humans. So put simply, if that asteroid had never hit, dinosaurs might still dominate this planet today. And mammals, including humans, might never have evolved the way we did. The death of the dinosaurs was, in a very real sense, the beginning of our story. This recovery didn't happen overnight. It took millions of years. The first few decades, the hardest period of all. Dust clouds made even daytime look like night. Temperatures plummeted. Very little survived. Only species that could get by on minimal food, like fungi, some insects, and small burrowing animals. A few hundred years later, the dust slowly cleared, and sunlight began returning. Simple plants came back first: horsetails and ferns, tough enough to survive extreme conditions. Over the next million years, early Paleocene epoch, flowering plants and forests began regrowing. Mammals started their first rapid burst of diversification. Over the next 10 million years, mammals were no longer just mouse-sized. Some grew as large as cows. Predators evolved that were the biggest land mammals seen up to that point. Over the following 60 to 70 million years, mammals gradually claimed every corner of the planet. The oceans, ancestors of whales. The land, large herbivores and predators. The skies, bats. And the trees, primates. Interesting fact, birds also flourished tremendously during this period, since their biggest rivals, flying reptiles and predatory dinosaurs, were gone for good. Human evolution has its own long, winding story. Approximately 7 million years ago, the common ancestor of humans and chimpanzees split, meaning we and chimps come from the same family tree. Just an extremely long time ago, approximately 4 million years ago. Early hominids like Australopithecus appeared, the most famous example being the fossil known as Lucy, discovered in Ethiopia. They had already started walking on 2 legs, but their brains were still small, approximately 2.3 million years ago. The genus Homo emerged. Homo habilis became one of the first species to make and use tools approximately 300,000 years ago. Modern Homo sapiens evolved in Africa. People just like us, as we are today approximately 7,000 to 10,000 years ago. The biggest turning point of all, the beginning of agriculture. Humans stopped wandering and began building permanent settlements. This is considered the true starting point of civilization. Cities, writing, organized societies. Here's the part that really puts things in perspective. Compared to the full 300,000-year history of our species, civilization, cities, writing, organized society, has only existed for the last 10,000 years. That means over 97% of human history was spent hunting and wandering, with no cities at all. The scientific answer is almost certainly not. Think about it. Dinosaurs ruled for over 160 million years. During that entire stretch, mammals never got a real chance to grow bigger. They stayed small, nocturnal, and constantly hiding. If that dominance had continued, mammals might have stayed small forever. Primates, the ancestors of humans, would never have gotten the specific safe conditions they needed to evolve, like living in trees before slowly moving to the ground. Dinosaurs themselves would have kept evolving too. Some scientists believe that, given enough time, certain dinosaur species might have grown even more intelligent. So, honestly, if that asteroid hadn't struck that day, humans probably wouldn't exist on this planet at all. Maybe some other intelligent species would have emerged eventually, but it wouldn't have looked anything like us. This is an important question too. How do scientists know a fossil is 230 million years old or 300,000 years old? Radiometric dating. Rocks and fossils contain radioactive elements, like uranium, that decay at a fixed, predictable rate, slowly transforming into other elements over time. By measuring that decay, scientists can calculate an exact age. It works like a clock that's been quietly ticking for millions of years. Stratigraphy, rock layers. Earth's surface builds up in layers over time, much like layers in a cake. Deeper layers are older. Layers closer to the surface are newer. Finding a fossil in a specific layer tells scientists roughly how old it is. For human fossils, carbon dating is typically used, but it's only accurate up to about 50,000 years. Anything older than that requires radiometric dating instead. Using these methods, scientists can say with confidence that dinosaurs and humans never coexisted, because their fossils show up in completely different rock layers from entirely different time periods. This is an amazing fact, and it's scientifically proven, not just a theory. Birds evolved specifically from theropod dinosaurs, the very same group that includes famous predators like T-Rex. The evidence? Several small theropod dinosaur fossils have been found with feathers, like Archaeopteryx and Microraptor. Skeletal structures show striking similarities. Hollow bones, a wishbone-like structure. Some behaviors line up too, like building nests and incubating eggs. When the asteroid hit, only small, feathered, ground-dwelling dinosaurs survived, and every bird alive today evolved from them. So the next time you see a bird flying overhead, you're technically looking at a living dinosaur, one that's been evolving for 66 million years straight. The dinosaur extinction wasn't a one-off event. Earth's history includes a total of 5 major mass extinctions, known to scientists as the Big Five. Ordovician Silurian, 440 million years ago. Approximately 85% of species wiped out late Devonian, 375 million years ago. Approximately 75% of species wiped out Permian Triassic, 250 million years ago. The biggest extinction of all, a staggering approximately 96% of species wiped out. Known as the Great Dying, Triassic-Jurassic, 200 million years ago. Approximately 80% of species wiped out. This is actually what cleared the competition and gave dinosaurs their chance to dominate Cretaceous-Paleogene/KPG, 66 million years ago. The dinosaur extinction. Here's the wildest part. Most people only know about the dinosaur extinction, but the Permian extinction was even more catastrophic. It brought life on Earth to the very brink of total collapse. Finally, here are some questions science still can't fully answer. What did they actually sound like? Soft tissue, like vocal cords, doesn't fossilize, so their true sounds may never be known. What color were they? Pigment traces have been found for a few species, but the true colors of most dinosaurs remain a mystery. Were they cold-blooded or warm-blooded? This debate is still ongoing in the scientific community. What was their social behavior like? Did they live in herds? How did they communicate? Scientists can only make educated guesses from indirect evidence. How many species are still undiscovered? Scientists believe there are far more dinosaur species still hidden in the fossil record than we've found so far, just waiting to be discovered. So that's the story of Earth's 2 great ages, 160 million years of dinosaur rule, 1 catastrophic asteroid impact, and the path that impact ultimately carved out for us, for humans, to walk this Earth. If that asteroid hadn't struck that day, we might not be here at all. So the next time you see a bird flying by, remember, you're looking at a living dinosaur, one that's far older than we are. What do you think? Will humans one day face an ending, just like the dinosaurs did? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe.